Hello guys and welcome to another lesson of Mossy Maths with me, Tom Moss, and today we're going through the fifth lesson on the topic of coordinate geometry. Now, in this lesson we're going to be looking at transformations, and hopefully those of you watching from GCSE will be aware there are four key transformations, one of which is translations, which we'll be looking at today as part of the Core 1 AS Maths course. We have stretches and reflections and also enlargements. However, for Core 1 we only need to know about translations, of which there are two types. In Core 2 we'll be looking at stretches and as well reflections of graphs, but here we're just going to be looking at how we can translate a curve. Now the first example is y equals f of x plus a, where a is added on to the function separately. When this happens, the graph is translated in the y direction. In other words, it will move up or it will move down. If a is greater than 0, then it's going to be positive, so the graph will move up by that value. If a is negative, therefore less than 0, the graph will move down by that value of a. Okay? The second type of translation is y equals f of x plus a. The graph is translated in the x direction. So, if the x plus a is inside brackets, if the a is with the function, like in this case, then the graph will move either left or right in the x direction. This is the weird part. So if a is greater than 0, you would think it would move right. However, in this case, it actually moves left. And if a is smaller than 0, it moves right. So this is sort of the reverse of what you would think. So it's important you remember if a is positive, it moves left, and if it's negative, it moves right, when the value of a is inside the brackets like this. So we're going to go through 4 examples taken from the latest AQA revision guide. The first one says sketch the graph of y equals f of x plus 2. Now for all these questions we'll be using f of x equals this graph here. X multiplied by x plus 2 times x minus 2. This is going to be the function we refer to in each question. So the key points from this are that when x is minus 2, y is 0. When x is minus 1, y is 3. When x is 0, y is 0. When x is 1, y is minus 3. When x is 2, y is 0. So there's some key points and coordinates on the graph that you're going to need to know when we think about translating it. And the first one says sketch the graph of y equals f of x plus 2. So we're adding 2 separately. It's not inside the brackets. Therefore we refer to this translation. And therefore it's going to be in the y direction. It's positive, which means it's greater than 0. 2 is greater than 0. So it moves upwards by 2, by the value of a. So the first thing to do is to pick apart each point on this graph. So let's have a look when x is minus 2. Well, this is the point minus 2, 0. Well, if we're moving that 2 upwards, it's going to become the point minus 2 and then 2 on the y-axis. So it's going to be somewhere around there. Okay? Now with minus 1. Well, when x is minus 1, y is 3. So if we're moving that 3 up 2, we're adding 2, it's going to become 5. Which is about there. 0. 0 is going to become 0, 2, moving it up 2. 1 minus 3 is going to become 1 minus 1 when we add 2 to minus 3. Somewhere around there. And 2, 0 is going to become 2, 2. And now we simply draw through the points. And that's sort of the graph we're going to get. And it's important that in the exam we do label each part that is crucial to the diagram. So the roots could be important. In this case we really need to just label the coordinates of each point here that is moved and what the new coordinates will be. For example, 0, 0 is now 0, 2, minus 1, 3 is now minus 1, 5, 1 minus 3 is now 1 minus 1. Just label those key points. And this is what the graph translated in this way will look like. Now we're looking at this graph being translated when we minus 4. And again, it's outside the brackets, it's going to be translated in the y direction, but it's minus 4, so it's going to be going down 4. So, the point minus 2, 0 is going down 4. So this is going to become minus 2, minus 4. Okay? Minus 1, 3 is going downfall. So this is going to become minus 1, minus 1. 0, 0 going downfall is going to become 0, minus 4. 1 minus 3 is going to now become 1 minus 7. Minusing 4 from minus 3. And the point 2, 0, if we minus 4 from the y value, it's going to become 2 minus 4. So let's now draw this out. So that's not the neatest diagram in the world. I do apologise for that. My drawing is quite limited, but that's what that graph will look like approximately. Again, it doesn't matter how good at drawing you are in the exam, it really doesn't. We just need to label the points that have moved and what the new coordinates will be. You just, for example, label this is now going to be the point 0, minus 4, and so on and so on, these points here. So as long as we label the new coordinates of the key points, I'm sure we'll get full marks for this. Now we have sketched the graph of y equals f of x plus 2. And the x plus 2 is inside the brackets. This means that it's going to move in the x direction, referring back to that key point. And it's going to move, if it's positive, which is a positive 2, then it actually goes left. So it's going to go left by the value of 2. So we now again need to pick apart each key point. Now this is the point minus 2, 0. So what's going to happen here? Well, if we're moving minus 2, 0 left 2, it's going to become minus 4, 0. Minus 1, 3 is going to become 3 minus 2, minus 3, 3. Might have to swap pens here because that's not working very well. So, the point 0, 3 is going to become minus 2, 3, moving it left 2. 0, 0 is going to become minus 2, 0. Okay, that's point 0, 0. It's going to become minus 2, 0. So that's minus 2, 0. This is the point minus 3, 3. And this is the point minus 4, 0. Now if we take the point 1, 0. 1 minus 3 from this diagram. This is the point 1 minus 3. Then again, it's still going to be minus 3. But it's going to move left 2. So it's going to become minus 1, minus 3. Okay? And then the point 2, 0 is going to become 0, 0, moving it left 2. So we again draw through this. And that's the new graph we're going to get. Okay? And again, it should go directly through each point. So, as you can see, all we're doing in this case is moving each x coordinate left by 2. And it is easy to get confused. As you saw there, I got a bit muddled up with a few coordinates, and it's very important that in the exam you do take your time with each coordinate, because it's easy to make a very simple mistake and then the whole graph could look wrong. The whole shape can change just from misplacing one coordinate. So it's very important you do take your time and double check over every single coordinate. And this is what this graph translated by this will look like. Finally, you can have a go at this if you like by pausing the video, but I'm going to go straight through it with you now, okay? So if you like, pause the video and have a go. So with this one, sketch y equals f of x minus 1. Now again, the x minus 1 is inside brackets, so it's going to move in the x direction. The x value is minus 1. If a is less than 0, then it moves right. So it's going to move right by the value of 1. Okay? We just swap the signs. So this is going to move in that direction. So we take each point again. Minus 2, 0. If we move that right one, it's going to become minus 1, 0. Minus 1, 3 is going to become 0, 3. If we add 1 to minus 1, we get 0 on the x-axis. And 3. 0, 0 will become 1, 0. And the point 1 minus 3 will become 2 minus 3. The point 2, 0 will become 3, 0. So this is what the graph will look like when it's translated. And now we can simply draw a line through each coordinate. And that is what the graph will look like. As you can see, we've just moved each x-coordinate right by 1. So there's 4 examples taken from the latest AQA revision guide on translations. In the next video I'll look at an exam style question. So, thanks a lot guys. If you found the video helpful, please put a like. If you do have any questions, do leave a comment and I'll get back to you as quick as I can. And again, I'd like to thank everyone who subscribed to my channel and liked my Facebook page. So thanks a lot, and I'll see you in lesson 6.